A wise man once said, if you can convince the lowest white man that he has more and can do better than the lowest black man, then the rich white man can pick his pockets forever. That's what we got going on in America, ladies and gentlemen. President Trumpenstein, with his pumpkin ass cankles, is picking the pockets of flyover country all across America. And we're going to give some examples in this video. We're going to talk about Charlamagne Tha God going on Fox News, actually giving some good advice. And I've been critical of him. We'll bring that up. We've got Bill Burr telling the truth about billionaires and what people need to hear that they've not been listening to. We've got that coming. We've also got Democrats not having a backbone, wanting to stand up for Zoran Mamdani, who is showing a blueprint of what many people can get behind. And we've got an issue, ladies and gentlemen, where we're wanting to pay the uneducated more than what we should be paying teachers. That and so much more. Politics of Being Black starts right now.
I'm up early for the dealers come out. Everybody is outside till the killers come out. You ain't eating, you just act full. I'm impactful. Dozen funerals in a month. I got that full. I will give it to niggas in all rap forms. Ignatius out right now on all platforms.
What's going on, everybody? Link on the screen, beacons.ai/politics of being black. Go there, check it out. Newsletter, all the things I'm involved with. Let's do it. Over the weekend, Charlamagne Tha God, a person who I have been very critical of because during the election, it seemed like he was downplaying Joe Biden and uplifting MAGA pundits, actually went on Laura Trump and said something that I really agree with. Let's take a look at what he had to say.
President Trump's second term in office. Now, I know you've been critical. You've had your bones to pick with President Trump. If you took his name out of it and looked solely at what has happened, the policies and the things that have changed around the world and in our country over the first 6 months, how do you rate his presidency so far?
I wouldn't give it a good rating,
Why not?
Simply because, the least of us are still being impacted the worst. Like when you look at something like, the big, beautiful bill, that's something that, I'm going to benefit from because of the tax bracket that I'm in. But, there's going to be so many people that's hurt by that bill. And, anything that, takes away Medicaid from people and is going to put people in a worse financial situation than, they were previously in, I'm not for. And, he ran on that. Like he ran on, the economy. He ran on saying that, grocery prices were going to be down, and
that has happened.
No.
Inflation is trending down, and by the way, Medicaid.
No, I think that traditional conservatives are going to take the Republican Party back. I think there's a political coup going on right now in the Republican Party that people aren't paying attention to.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think that this Epstein thing is going to be a way for traditional conservatives to take their party back. I really do. I think that they know this is the issue that has gotten the base riled up. The MAGA base isn't letting this issue go, and for the first time, they know they can, probably take their party back and not piss off the MAGA base.
Let's unpack that, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, President Cankles had a reply that shows his racism in trying to keep the lowest white man feeling he's better than a black man. We'll get to that in a minute. But let's pick this apart. Number one, Charlamagne is wrong if he thinks that moderate Republicans are going to uproar and switch over to the Democrats. They had a chance to do that shit this election. And what did they do? They chose a convicted sex abuser. They went with someone who they knew was on those Epstein files. They went with someone who they knew was unqualified. They went with someone who is a pure grifter selling the White House. They went with someone who tried to overthrow government and said he was going to free the people that did it, and they still voted for this man. There's no such thing as a moderate Republican. You're either Democrat or you're authoritarian. One way, and racist. And I didn't even mention that, but they overlooked all that and still voted for Trump for whatever the reason, and whatever those reasons are not good enough for the average American person. Then Laura Trump lied and told the truth on one hand. She did say that inflation is coming down, and it is, but she lied when she talked about the price of groceries because that shit has gone up. And if you guys remember, the biggest theme going on when Trump was getting elected that people who knew good and well they was voting because they was racist, they was voting because Trump make them feel good with their worst instincts, they said it was about the price of eggs. So let's take a look at the price of eggs, shall we, ladies and gentlemen? Let me put this graphic up for you. Here you go. In terms of what is going on in the grocery store, and there's a little quick comparison, and I'll read you the whole summary. So the quick comparison shows May 2024 through May 2025. Food at home inflation was 2.2%. That bitch done went up to 3.8%. June 24 through June 25. Same thing, ladies and gentlemen. And so obviously Lara Trump, and I'm gonna call her ass Laura because that's what it's spelled like. You can tell she don't do no grocery shopping. You can tell. People like her, they ain't worried about the price of nothing because they're not grocery shopping. It's so tone deaf to hear people who are not having to live the average American life talk about the stuff that the average American is going through. And it's up to you individuals that hear the sound of my voice, the sound of other people's voice, that are preaching the real truth of what's going on, and break it down into a story to those who are caught in the MAGA bubble. Because if they're caught in the MAGA bubble, all they're watching is Fox News, people online who spewing the same bull jive. And we have to find ways to tell a story to them that they can relate to start to pierce the veil. So President Kankles gets online, gets racist to try to shut down Charlamagne. Here's what he had to say. And of course, it's racist as fuck.
Here. The very wonderful and talented Lara Trump, whose show is a big rating success, put racist sleazebag Charlamagne Tha God. Why is he allowed to use the word God when describing himself? Can anyone imagine the uproar there would be if I used that nickname? He's a low IQ individual, has no idea what words are coming out of his mouth, and knows nothing about me or what I have done, just like ending 5 wars, including a 31-year bloodbath between Republic of Congo and Rwanda, where 7 million people have died, and there was no end in sight. He didn't know that, or India or Pakistan, or wiping out Iran's nuclear capabilities, or closing the horrendous open borders capitalized, or creating the greatest economy where prices and inflation have come way down, and where stupid and corrupt Joe Biden set the record for doing the worst job as president ever. But this dope, Charlamagne, would vote for Sleepy Joe or Kamala. Remember, 1 year ago, our country was dead. Now it's the hottest country anywhere in the world. Okay, this is so...
It's hot, all right. It's hot with corruption. It ain't hot with the things that benefit the main American people. Let's unpack what Trump said, and let's unpack some of that dog whistle talk. Number one, it has been the trope of Republicans since before Trump got in office to call Black people low IQ, low information voters and all that. When in all reality, when Rush Limbaugh used to say that, he was really talking about flyover country MAGA. Y'all know the ones that hang from the mountains in West Virginia with one tooth, drink beer and watch NASCAR, even when NASCAR's not in season. Yeah, that's who they was really talking about, because they're preying on those individuals. Like I said in the beginning of this video, if you can convince the lowest denominator white guy that he's better than the highest denominator Black person, you can pick that fucker's pockets for life. And that's what Trump has done better than nobody else. So Trump then goes on to say that inflation has come down and that we are doing so good. Inflation has come down, but the country is not doing good. Hence, he just fired the person that does data and labor statistics for him because the data came out against Trump, ladies and gentlemen. MAGA never hears this stuff because they're in a bubble. It's up to you guys to remind them of it. And then if they want to call you out, pull up the data on the spot. Now, who has benefited from Trump being in office all this time? The rich, as usual. We've been stuck with this bull jive called trickle-down economics for so long. Some people actually think that one day they're going to wake up and be rich, but they're not. One of the funniest comedians in all of America who has taken the mantle of preaching the gospel of what's really right in America, Bill Burr, had something to say. Let's see what my man had to say. He's really funny.
There's nothing wrong with being a billionaire, but if somebody is working 40 hours a week, 160 hours a month, and they can't make their rent, you're not paying them enough money. Maybe you should just be worth 900 million.
Yeah.
Like, how does a CEO take a 8-figure bonus and none of your employees have dental insurance? They can't even go out and get a filling. There's these nerd billionaires out there saying, I want my employees to come to work terrified, go to bed terrified, wake up terrified. I mean, you don't think it's that, then they're terrified to go out and spend any money.
He's true, ladies and gentlemen. How are we still in today's society allowing billionaires to tell the average American person socialism is wrong when all rich people do is socialize their risk and capitalize on the gains? And they tell you not to use socialism because they want to use it. And this is what Trump's big, beautiful bill was. And this shit has gotten so bad, ladies and gentlemen, that the CEO of In-N-Out Burger is talking pure tea crap about California to the point she's leaving and going to Tennessee because she's saying it's too hard to live there. Y'all want to see what she looks like? This is her. This chick makes a whole lot of money. And obviously you can tell she gets a whole lot of plastic surgery work done. This chick gets so much work done, I bet she could fund probably 2 VA hospitals with the kind of money she's spending on her body to look like this. Now, I wouldn't pick on people because of their riches if there was a pendulum that made sure everybody was doing well. Here's her statement, and you guys can read it at your leisure, of why Lindsay is deciding to go to Tennessee. But going to Tennessee is not going to help the situation, Lindsay, because all California is trying to do as best as they can is ensure that workers do not have to fucking work 3 jobs just to try to have dental insurance. Hell, before that, just to pay their rent. We have allowed rampant inflation, rampant money to the rich, rampant benefits to the rich supersede that of the American person to the point where they've got people actually really believing that they should be working a 9 to 5, then having to work Uber on the weekends, while the billionaires continue to get billion-dollar bonuses, when if they was to just split the reps, let's say this chick is making $2 billion. If she split the reps and gave $500 million to her workers, it would so much dramatically improve their lives and allow them to spend more money. She wouldn't miss a damn thing. She could still go get her plastic surgery, her nip-tuck plastic surgery, and be good. But they don't want to hear that. They want you to be beholden to them so that they can basically control your life. People, it doesn't have to be like that. There is a populist message being pushed by a candidate named Zoran Mamdani that a lot of us have been trying to get people to get behind, and even moderate, bought by billionaire Democrats are still not listening to that. Take a look at how Cory Booker dodges a question about Mamdani that should infuriate Democrats because the Dems still aren't getting it. Take a look at this.
If part of the issue with your party, do you think, is not embracing enough of the energy on the left flank of your party? You're seeing what's happening in your neighboring state in New York. Zoran Mamdani, he's the Democratic candidate, Democratic socialist candidate there. Democratic leaders are not supporting him. Is that a problem? Do you support him?
So you and I are going to have this conversation, and I'm going to say to you one day, I told you so. This is not a left-right issue. It really isn't. It is an authoritarian versus people who want pragmatic government that makes a difference in the lives of American people. I'm one of these people that says the lines that divide us in America are not nearly as strong as the ties that bind us. Big corporations, people want to keep our eyes on the screen, want to pit us against each other and tell us how much we should hate each other. I'm sorry. The left-right lens is not the right lens to look at this right now. Right now it is, can we get back to the pragmatic work of governing?
About Mamdani, are you going to support him?
I have learned a long time ago, let New York politics be New York politics. We got enough challenges in Jersey. I got a governor's race. I'm supporting Mikey Sherrill. I got legislative races. That's where my energy is going to go going into November. New York City, I love you. You're my neighbor. You're about 10 miles from where I live.
Okay. He talks about this is an authority.
Ladies and gentlemen, This is exactly why Trump keeps winning. This is one reason. This is a reason why Zoran Mamdani is winning. This man dodged that question as if he was in a dodgeball game in a cage. Nothing to do with it. He asked that man, will he support Zoran Mamdani? And how the hell did we get back to talking about New Jersey? And now I do have a bone to pick with Cory Booker. I'm glad he's a Democrat and most of the time he holds the line. But there have been too many times he didn't. And one time that I was very aware of him dodging the bullet was a long time ago. Bernie Sanders and Amy Klobuchar came out with an amendment to get drug prices cheaper coming through America that would have helped the prices for people like me. I'm an asthmatic, and you guys wouldn't believe what the price of asthma drugs cost back in 2017. Just take a look at this that's on the screen. You can read it at your leisure. Cory Booker said hell to the no, and he gave another political reason for why he didn't do it, when at the end of the day, he didn't do it because he's bought by Big Pharma. They helped fund his damn campaign. Zoran Mamdani is the complete opposite of being funded by big money. Matter of fact, he scares big money because he takes the power away from big money and gives it to you, the person. When Zoran Mamdani is asked a yes or no question, 90% of the time he's yes or no. Cory Booker and other politicians still want to play the political game, acting like a used car salesman and never giving you a straight answer. That's why we keep fucking losing, Democrats. And we need you to do better than this, because you can do better. You guys could still win races if you severed your ties with your rich donors. You could. But I think everybody's so afraid of giving up power in that cushiony life that they're living, they're really afraid to do it. And it's going to continue to take people who have nothing to lose, that'll say whatever the hell they want to say in debates, just like Trump did, just like Zoran Mamdani did, and just like this new up-and-coming crop of candidates such as Bernard Taylor, such as J.B. Jonathan Bonner, such as my girl Jasmine Thomas, who have nothing to lose, tell it like it is, and people are getting behind them for those reasons. Guys, tell your people, tell your elected officials, stop being political. There's no more time for that. We need the levers of government to swing back to helping the middle class and poor, because the rich have been taken care of way too long. If the rich never got a tax spending bill in their favor for the next 30 years, their asses are good. The American people need that in their pendulum. And to kind of demonstrate the crazy ass country we're living in, would you guys believe me if I told you that right now, someone who has no education beyond high school can go work for the Trump administration making well over six figures, whereas we still have teachers who, I was always taught, teachers and veterans, those are some of the most precious positions anyone can have in America. Don't even make nowhere near six figures. But Trump administration is going to pay these gun-happy, redneck, jacked up truck individuals 6 figures plus to do nothing but be racist. Take a look at this. ICE is offering $132,000 to $185,000 per year for supervisory roles and $306,000 per year to concentration camp managers. Both jobs have zero education requirements. Meanwhile, the average starting salary is $46,000 for teachers and $68,000 for nurses. Both jobs require a bachelor's degree and often graduate degree. Are you all tired of thank you for your service? I've been telling people before even Trump, I'm tired of hearing this thank you for your service shit when you see people in the military. If you really want to thank them, pay their asses. They should be some of the most highly paid people on planet Earth, just like teachers. Why do you think the American electorate is falling behind in education? Number one, because we're not paying people to be in that position, or else I would have been a teacher. Number two, because the Republican Party wants its electorate dumbed down the same way the robber barons who, when we first started education back in the Model T era, when Ford was putting out that car, They really didn't want you super educated. They just want you educated enough to work the lines. Somewhere along the way, FDR and others decided that we need to be competing with the rest of the world in education so that we can grow the nation. And we started putting education into it instead of just teaching you the basics. We've got to get back to that. MAGA loves you being dumb because when you're dumb, you don't critically think. And when you don't critically think, you don't challenge the status quo and you don't challenge the people pushing their narratives on you, ladies and gentlemen. That's what they want for you. And that's what's going on right here. There is no reason America shouldn't be able to afford paying every single teacher teaching 6 figures, $100,000. We got the money. If we got the money to pay these crooks to be leads of concentration camps, no education needed, we've got the money to pay teachers. We've got the money to pay veterans when they come back home. At the very least, they should have Cadillac golden insurance coverage. We got the money. It's just that we got too many people that continue to vote for the platitudes of thank you for your service and thoughts and prayers. And thoughts and prayers, if that shit worked, America would have been different a long time ago. So ladies and gentlemen, please post me all your comments. Let me know what you think about all this stuff going on in MAGA America. Please be sure to go and subscribe to this channel, Politics of Being Black. If you're catching me on the TikTok, subscribe to Lamont Tyson. And if you want to get an overall sense of everything I do and join the newsletter, beacons.ai/politics of being black. It is the link that you're looking at just below me. I will be going live Thursday for sure with the big homie LZ. She's coming through and she blazed up our discussion the last time. So if you want to come through Thursday night at 9 p.m., please do. And I will also be going live with TJ on TikTok Thursday, the same day, this coming Thursday at 6:35 p.m. And until that next Sexy as Hell video, I'm going to give you guys my new outro from that bad girl herself, Lady J, Jasmine Crockett.
Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body. Somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body.